Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so yesterday we were talking about how to prove that single qubit gates and the CNOT gate or single qubit gates along with CNOT gate gives you a universal quantum computation. Okay, or maybe universal gates. They will form a collection of universal gates. So yeah, we are trying to prove that. So first of all, what we did is yeah, we had a roadmap and so what we started talking about is, so this is a roadmap. So this part is done. So first we had seen that any control you get can be implemented using single qubit and CNOT gates. And then we are trying to prove that any C to the power K U gate, that means the K control U gate, can also be implemented using Toffoli and a controlled U gate. Now, since we have a controlled U gate, this can be implemented using qubit gates, 1 qubit gates, and CNOT gate. And we also have seen that Toffoli gate can also be implemented using single qubit gates and CNOT gate. So now I will try to prove that C to the power K U gate can be implemented using Toffoli and controlled U. And then we'll give a sketch how to prove that any unitary matrix of order 2 to the power n by 2 to the power n can be implemented using K control U gate. Okay. So yesterday we talked about how to implement, I think, Toffoli gate. This is what this much we have discussed. Now here I want to just make one point that Toffoli gate is a true controlled NOT gate, right? So it's a control NOT gate. So, but this can be arbitrary as well. Okay. So, so here is a specific gate. So Toffoli gate is nothing but you can say in our new notation, it is like C square NOT gate. Okay. C square NOT gate. But I can have a situation which is C square any unitary gate, need not be the NOT. So in that case, my picture should be like this. My icon, my circuit should be like this. So there are two controls. There are two controls, and then there will be one gate here, which is, let's say, U. Okay, this is the gate, let's say. So this is control. So C square U gate. Then we have to show that this can also be implemented using some single qubit gates and CNOT gate. And I'll just give you, so because I discussed in detail about the Toffoli gate, I'll just give you a hint here that how this gate can be implemented using NOT gates, CNOT gates, and CNOT gate and some controlled, let's say V gate, okay, some one control V gate, let's say. So this is how this circuit is. So you have, okay, you have 3 qubits. Okay, so first one is here. This is V. I'll tell you what V is. And then you put a CNOT gate here. And then again you put, just like the Toffoli gate. So this is V, dagger. And then again one CNOT gate here. And then again one V gate here. But this is a long control V. And for the case of Toffoli gate, we had V is equal to this matrix 1, 0, 0, I. This was my V. And there are two Hadamard gates here, the end and in the beginning. But here, I'll take V to be a matrix such that V square is equal to U. So you can say V is a square root of U. So if you choose this way, then this C square U gate also can be implemented using this. And so this is a control you get kind of a thing, okay, which can be implemented using single qubit gates, okay, and CNOT gate. So this also can be implemented. This also can be implemented. So everything. So the entire this gate C square U two control you get can be implemented using single qubit gates and CNOT gate. So you can check. This is a homework. Okay, just to check like how, so because I discussed in detail about this. So this is about Toffoli gate. So this is just a homework. Okay, now our next goal was what? Our next goal was how to implement CK you get. So meaning meaning uh, you have K control qubits, K control qubits, and one target qubit, one target qubit. So how to implement
Sir,
this
isn't
using
there
some,
a H uh, in Toffoli gate? There was a H before the V and a H after
yeah,
the V also.
yeah, yeah. That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, there will be a H. Okay.
Now you see, it's a difference. I am not telling you. That's why I gave you a hint. Here you see this. If you make a square of it, okay, see what happens, and just check it out. Just check it out.
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
Okay.
just check it out. Check it out. So okay, now we'll try to do the CK C to the power K you get K control and one you get, and yeah, we'll implement this gate using Toffoli gate and a control gate. Okay, one control gate. So first we implemented Toffoli. Now we'll use Toffoli in order to implement this kind of a gate. And I will not give you the proof for C to the power K, but I'll give you the circuit representation for, let's say K is equal to 4. What happens K equal to 4? Okay. The similar analogy can be done for any K. Okay. But because this is, if I, so I'm fixing K equal to 4 because then I can have a picture of a finite picture of this thing, a small picture, let's say, of the circuit. Okay. So and here, okay, let me, so what is my gate here? If K equal to 4, so there are 4 controls. Okay, so my basic circuit is then this one. So this, and this, and there is one U here. So let's say this is my U. So this is what it is. Okay. Now I want to implement this using a different circuit. Okay. So let me first draw it. Okay. And then we'll talk about it, how it is done. But one thing is that I need some ancilla qubits here. Okay. So I need some ancilla qubits, and how many ancilla qubits will be needed? So I'll say in general when k is not need not be equal to 4, but it could be any k. So let me first draw it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there will be one U here. This is my desired U. The same U I am to implement. This is my U. And then there would be 3 ad hoc or 3 ancilla. 3 ancilla. So 1, 2, and 3. And then I'll show you how to do this. Okay. So first of all, this will be controlled on this one. And then there will be a control here. So there will be Toffoli gate here actually. So there will be Toffoli gate here. And there will be one more Toffoli gate here. So there will be one more Toffoli gate here. And there will be one more Toffoli gate here. Go up to here. Okay. And same thing I have to do the right hand side. So it is kind of a symmetric picture. and then this will go here. Then I will have this sound control. So it is Toffoli. And then I have this. I have to go down here. I have this thing. And then I have one more Toffoli here. And then I have to go down here. Okay, so this is my circuit, complete circuit, and these are all ancilla qubits. So they are just used ancilla qubits in order to realize to design the circuit. So here you can say these are all initial states are all 0. Okay, now let us see how it is going on, whether this right hand side icon or the circuit is equivalent to the left hand side or not. Okay, so what is the meaning of left hand side? When first 4 are all 1, then only you will be applied on the last qubit. So the same thing is happening or not, I have to see. For other cases, it will be just identity. Okay, so I have to make sure that that is happening. Okay, so here actually is my target one. So let's say, okay, let me write it like psi1. So psi1 could be, let's say 0, this is or 1. This is psi2, psi3. This is psi4, and this is psi5. So this is my target. Okay, this is my target. So same thing like this here, like psi1, let's say psi2, psi3, psi4, and then psi5. And all these psi i's, okay, psi i's are either 0 or 1. Because as you said, like if you want to prove two circuits are equivalent, then it is enough to show that they will give same outputs for the same inputs. Okay, then that's done. Okay, so I have this possibility. Now I have to check if one of these psi1, psi2, psi3, psi4 is 0. Okay, then there will be no action of U on psi5, whether same thing is happening in the circuit or not, in the right hand circuit or not. Now see, when U will act on psi5, that I have to check. The psi5, the U will act on psi5 only when the last qubit, last ancilla qubit is 1. Then only it will act. So, and then you see the psi5, and for any other case, this U will not act on psi5. So I just have to make sure that the state of the last qubit is 1 only when psi1, psi2, psi3, psi4 are 1. Then I'm done. And I also have to make sure whether after this, whether I get back this or not. So this remain invariant. Okay, so anyway, so my first job will be to check when the last, this in the right hand circuit, when the last qubit, last ancilla qubit will have state 1. Okay, and it is 1 only when psi1, psi2, psi3, psi4 are 1. Now, can you verify this, or I have to do that? Can you just see and observe that the last one will be 1? So here it should, when it is entering here, then it has to be equal to as 1. Okay, so this state output of this one should be, this is 1. This should be 1. Then only this U will act on psi5. And this will be 1 only when psi1, psi2, psi3, psi4 all are 1. So if one of these is not 1, let's say psi1 is not 1, then what will happen? And all others are 1 or 0, I don't care. Let's say psi1 is 0, okay, 0 state. Then the first Toffoli gate will not act. Okay. Now if that does not act, see here it is not, whatever be the psi3, this is not 1. So the second Toffoli gate will also not act, because the input here is 0. And if this does not act, then this also will not act because the input here is 0. Right? And this is true for any psi1, psi2, psi3, psi4. If any of them is not 1, then this will not act. Okay. So first we proved for psi1. Similar argument can be given for psi2. For example, if psi2 is not 1, psi2 is 0, then the first one will not act. And same thing you can say second one and third one will not act. Similar analysis you can do for psi3 and psi4, okay, if they are not 1. Now, the similar thing you can say. Now the question is I need to check when, so I'm skipping the discussion here. So I'm not saying like what will happen, psi3 is not equal to 1, psi4 is not equal to 1. The same analysis will go on. Now let's say my all are this psi1, psi2, psi3, psi4 are 1. If all are 1, this all will act. Okay, because this will act, then this will be 1. And this is already 1, so this will also act. This will be 1. This will also act. Now you see this last one will be actually this one here. So let me, so here, this will be 1 in that case. This will be 1. Here it will be 1 if and only if psi1, psi2, psi3, psi4 all are 1. So all the TOEFL gate will act upon, and then it will remain 1. And if it is 1, then psi5 will, the U will act on psi5. And now why the other gates here, all this TOEFL gate? Because I want to get back 0, okay, to all of this, because it has changed to 1. So again, I have to do a NOT operation. So again, I'll get 0 back here, and similarly here, similarly here. So this is the diagram for C to the power 4k. Yeah, so C to the power 4 not, okay, or sorry, C to the power 4 U gate, okay. So this is the circuit for C to the power 4 U. Okay, C to the power 4 U means 4 control, and then for last one you are applying U here. Now what is the observation from here? So first of all, the observation is how many add up qubits are required, how many ancilla qubits are required. Okay, so how many required? It is 3 ancilla when k equal to 4. So you can generalize this and you can see that k minus 1 ancillary qubits, okay, are required to realize this, okay, and which are all initiated at state 0, okay, which are initially at state 0. This is what you can see. You can try to do it for k equal to 5 and you see that this is what is happening. And how many TOEFL gates I used? I used actually 6 TOEFL gates, 3 before U and the other 3 after U. So basically I need k minus 1 again TOEFL gates. Okay, so you will observe that k minus 1 TOEFL gates are required to change or to make the last ancilla qubit at state 1. At state 1 meaning so that this U acts, okay, on the last, or I will say the kth, okay, the k plus 1th, or let's say k plus 1th means, okay, yeah, so k plus 1th qubit, okay, because first k qubits are the control, okay, and this is what it is, okay. This is how you can actually implement C to the power k you get in terms of TOEFL gates and one controlled U gate. Now we have seen already that controlled U gate, this particular gate, can be implemented using 1 qubit gates and CNOT, and TOEFL gates also can be implemented using 1 qubit. So here it was, right? 1 qubit gate, Hadamard was there, 1 qubit gate and some control V gate and CNOT. So then I can say this C to the power k U gate also can be implemented using 1 qubit gates and CNOT gate. Okay. Now, the thing is, how many cofoligates did I use? So if I increase my number of qubits, if I increase my k, how is it increasing? Which order it is increasing? If I keep on increasing my k, okay, you have to see this pattern. So you'll see here that the number of Toffoli will be order linear, order of k. Toffoli will be required. Okay. But for each Toffoli gate, also there is order k because of here, you see, order k elementary gates. Okay. So ultimately, I can say this can be implemented, this entire c to the power k gate, c to the power ku. Okay. This can be implemented using order of k square elementary gates. So it is polynomial. Okay. We'll talk more about it a little later. Okay. So let us stop here for the time being and let us move to the next goal. We will come back to this a little later. Like question is like.
So what? Why is
Instead
it
of
k
having.
square? Elementary operations. Why is it k square?
See, elementary means I'm saying single qubit and because how many gates are required for Toffoli? Single.
Total
So that is of order k
constant,
again.
right?
What? Single.
For a single Toffoli, we need
Single.
one.
No, the number of
Nine.
Toffoli gates is also increased based on the number of k, right? What I'm saying is element by elementary gates, I mean the single qubit and CNOT gate, let's say. Okay.
Yes, but
So
the Toffoli gate is of size 3 only, right? So there will be only 3 states in one Toffoli gate, right?
what is that? Can
In
you
one
repeat again?
Toffoli gate, per Toffoli
Yeah.
gate, there will be only 3 states, and those 3 states will
Yeah.
have constant number of C naught or C naught and single point gates, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. What I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Because I was okay. So yeah. So this okay. Let me just forget about this point for the time being. I was thinking about the other gate I was talking about. Okay. So that will be order of k square. Okay. So what I was thinking about. Otherwise, yeah, you are right. So this order k of you can say elementary gates.
Okay.
Tuple gates or elementary gates. Yeah, you're right. So I was thinking about the other thing that I was talking about. Yeah, I'll come back to this. Okay, I'll come back to this. Okay, now let us go to the next point. So the point is, okay, c to the power k is done. Now is the big thing. The big thing is how do I do this u to the power? Or sorry, I mean how? So let's say now I have u. Okay, so this u is in c to the power n times to the power n. So how this u can be implemented? That's the question now. Okay. So and it can be shown. I already gave you the reference. You can go through that paper. Okay. So I'll discuss. I mean, only very few things here. So this u can be decomposed in that paper. It is there. You can see read that u always can be any unitary matrix. Any such unitary matrix can be written as product of these many matrices. This is like I equal to 1 to 2 to the power n minus 1, and then j equal to 0 to I minus 1 Bij, and each of these Vij is kind of a rotation. It's kind of a rotation matrix. I'll tell you what is I and j rotation matrix. And let me say this thing. Suppose you have a vector. Okay. So when u acts on a vector, so this vector has dimension 2 to the power n because this u is of order 2 to the power n by 2 to the power n. So if you label all the entries here, this is some vector psi. Vector means it corresponds to a state, let's say. So in mathematics, you can say that this is a 2 to the power n dimensional vector. And then you have somewhere, let's say I. Okay. I mean, this is the ith one. So something is here, which is ith entry, complex number. And something, let's say this is j. So j, I am assuming that it is bigger than I. Okay. J is something here. Okay. And it goes on. up to 2 to the power n. So it is this random vector. Now, what is Bij? Given an I and j, so Vi only so act locally, so they will rotate this one with some unitary matrix. So there is a local unitary matrix happening. So what is that? This 2 by 2 unitary matrix will only rotate in sense of I'm saying that this is some unitary matrix will act only on these two entries and rest are all same, whatever it is, the output. Okay, and do it for all I and j. Okay, so that's how this Uij is defined. So Uij, okay, sorry, Vij is acting on entire vector. Okay, so when you Vij you apply on this, so this Vij only will change the ith and jth component. So they will only rotate these two. So they'll look like a rotation on this ijth plane, you can say. Okay, ijth plane means it's actually a 4-dimensional plane, but anyway, so it's like the x-axis is like c square and y-axis is like c square, let's say. So it's kind of a rotation on that particular plane. Okay, so this Vij will act only on the ith entry and the jth entry, and this is how it always can be written that U is like this. Okay, for the proof we can read the paper. Okay, but I'll just say that I'll assume that this is always true. Okay, and Vij is defined like this. Then the question will be, if I want to implement U, I have to implement Vij. How can Vij will be implemented? Okay, and how and using which gates? Okay, so if I implement, so Vij, by the way, Vij are all this of this order, 2 to the power n by 2 to the power n. Okay, these are all of order 2 to the power n. So it is acting on the on the on the state side. Okay, now so now this Vij can be implemented using something called controlled C to the power k NOT gate. Generalized, okay, sorry, not controlled, but so this Vij can be implemented, okay, using something called generalized. I'll tell you what is the meaning of generalized. Generalized C to the power k, but here the k will be actually n minus 1. This k is actually n minus 1, NOT gate. So there are n minus 1 control and then a NOT gate. This Vij can always be implemented like this. So if you assume that this is correct, that means we are almost done because we have seen how to implement this using which gates. Okay, and that this gate can be implemented using, let's say, Toffoli and control U. And then we have seen that, okay, that also can be implemented using single qubit gates and CNOT gates. So ultimately, we can then prove that, okay, this U can be implemented using this capital U here. Okay, or let me write this U here. So this U can be implemented using single qubit gates and this. And here also there is a catch. First of all, what is the meaning of generalized this gate? So generalized meaning here is like the way we define generalized CNOT gate. So we define C to the power k gate, right? C to the power k, some let's say not, okay, or let's say some any v gate. When the first k or some k controls, okay, so there are k control qubits and all are one, then the NOT is applied. But when you are saying generalized, it need not be all one, but of a particular state. Maybe the first one is 1, second one is 0, third one is 1, and so on. So there is a specific sequence of 0 ones, and for that, this particular gate, NOT gate, will be applied on a particular desired thing. So C to the n minus 1, there are n minus 1 control, and one particular qubit is there for which this NOT gate will apply. Okay, so that is called generalized. Okay, so that's just the way we define for generalized CNOT gate, because for CNOT gate, it was like the first qubit was control and second was a target, and the control was the state was 1. Okay, but then we said generalized CNOT gate, that means anything could be controlled, the first one or second one, and it need not be that the control qubit has to be of the state 1, but it could also be like state 0. So same thing is happening here, but it's in the most generalized situation that I have a sequence of n minus 1 qubits, and some of them are some particular states like 0, 1, whatever it is, depending on the sequence of 0, 1. And then this NOT gate will apply. Okay, those gates are called this kind of a thing. Okay, generalize this. But again, the way we have seen that CNOT gate can be used to implement generalized CNOT gates. So here also generalized CNOT, C to the power n minus 1 NOT gate can also be implemented using C to the power n minus 1 NOT gates. Okay, or some using some single qubit gates. Okay, so then then the question is, if I can somehow manage to show that this Vij can be implemented using generalized Cn minus 1 NOT gate, then we are done. And the technique they have adopted is something called the gray code. Okay, what is a gray code? Okay, so this all integers here, this all integers. Okay, so how many integers are there? There are 2 to the power n number of integers. Okay, 2 to the power, and the index of all of these entries. Okay, these 2 to the power n indices are there. So the first element, second element, third element, and if you consider up to 2 to the power n elements, okay, 2 to the power n positive integers, let's say, from starting from 1 to 2 to the power n. Otherwise, you can start from 0 to 2 to the power n minus 1, depending on whatever your configuration is. Now, each of these positive integer, can have a binary representation. So it can be written as a sequence of 0 ones of length n. Okay, so this is integers, a positive integers, you can say, to the n indices. Okay, I was writing indices. But I again, instead of okay, so then you can say they are so each then each index is an element of 0 1 to the power n. Okay, 0 to the power n means it's a sequence of 0 ones of length n, and how many such elements are there? 2 to the power n. So definitely there is, you can say this is the binary. So you need to now associate these 2 to the power n indices with, so I have this, let's say 1 2 up to 2 to the power n, and then I'm making an association, one association with the elements here, like in 0 1 2 to the power n. Okay, and one way is to do is like the binary representation. One is binary representation. So this is something called a binary code also. Okay, binary representation. But instead of binary, there is also one more, another coding. Okay, that is called a gray code. So instead of the binary sequences, see, I mean the binary representation, you can also define another operation. Okay, so there is something called mm, something called mirror. I think I don't remember this. So reflection of something like that. So it is yeah, it is called a reflected binary code, actually, RBC, reflected binary code. So that is also, so instead of binary, so this is one mapping, but you can also take this 1 2 up to 2 to the power n, and this is gray or gray code, or you can call it a reflected binary code. And then what will happen is, so for any I and j here, for example, okay, so ith entry here, jth entry here, okay, so I and j also can be treated as a bunch of numbers, bunch of 0 1s, sequence of 0 1s of length n. Okay, that is possible. Now once I have this thing, binary, so this 0 1 representation, okay, let's say forget about that, using gray code. Okay, so this is what it is. But I mean, for making the interpretation a little easier, let's say, let us assume that they have binary representation, because you know about binary representation. Okay, but there is something called a gray code, which you can also say, okay, that is a different kind of binary representation, kind of a thing. You can think about that. So I also has some kind of a sequence of 0 1, and j is also having a sequence of 0 1. Now observe another thing, that if you have that such a thing like sequence of 0 1s of length n, you can always construct a hypergraph. Because in a hypergraph of order n, let's say, there are 2 to the power n number of nodes. The hypergraph means sorry, not a hypergraph, but a hypercube, let's say. So like this, okay? So like this. So it is like 8. So it is 2 to the power 3. So this is of order 2 to the power 3. This is like a hypercube. Now this hypercube also can be explained in terms of saying that all these vertices are, let's say, these numbers, like binary representation of number. It is 2 to the power 3, that's why it is 8. And one node is connected to other node if there is a direct edge. So okay, so direct edge means this, let's say, okay, this is the first, and let's say let me write it like 0 0 1. Then only there will be a direct connection. Here it has to be, since it is directly connected, let's say 0 1 0. Here let's say 1 0 0. So there is a direct link between two nodes or two this binary representation, if a non-leaf, the number of changes of position is actually equal to 1. So when you are considering n-dimensional hypercube, then this I and j are some nodes in this hypercube. Okay, and these nodes are nothing but a string of length n of 0 ones. Then, so let this is I and this is j. Now you can reach, because it is a connected graph, you can reach from I to j using a path, maybe like this and then this and this. Okay, so basically what you can do is, you can, so let's say you want to go from I to j here. So this is a sequence. Okay, let's say it is 1, 1, 1. And this is a sequence, let's say, so let's say 0, 1, 1. Okay. And let's say this is 1, 1, 1. Yeah. So you can reach from 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1 by only one change of a digit. Okay. So you can first go from 0, 0, 0 and then 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, and then 1, 1, 1. This is a card. Or maybe if I want to write the bigger sequence, I can say like this. Let's say 0, this I represents 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. And let's say j is equal to 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Now I want to reach from I to j, and then this, let's say then, but each step there must be only one change of the digit, binary digit. So let's say 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, right? 0, 1, 1. Let's say this one, and then let's say 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, let's say. And then let's say 0, 0, 1, 0. No, let me write it 1, and then it is 0, 1, 1, 1, and then this one. So now say here from I to j, I can go from I to j. In between steps are like here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. And there is in each step, there is only one change of a digit. Okay, that I can always do. So this is like called a step of a gray code, a gray code. So one step means only one change over this. So, and they have shown in their paper that this operation Vij, okay, can be implemented using this gray code, using this each step of gray code. And for that, they need a c to the power n minus 1 NOT gate. So meaning is this gray code, okay, each step of the gray code of the step, okay, just let's say each step can be performed or can be executed, okay, on a quantum computer, let's say quantum computer, okay, through or by using a generalized c to the power n minus 1 NOT gate.
Sir,
So
even in binary,
ultimately,
excuse me, sir. Even in binary rep code, we can traverse like that, right? Using just
yes,
one
yes, yes,
transition.
yes, 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 you can do that. But they have used this gray code. You can read the paper, okay? There is some
Okay.
advantage of doing that because this is what I said is I just explained this part, okay? But there is a connection with Vij also, right? So this is done. So it has to
Oh,
realize the Vij, right?
okay, right, right.
So okay, so it has to connect to Vij. So what
Okay.
I'm saying is this each step of this. So ultimately Vij it will be equivalent to this step. I mean this entire thing, the entire process, and this can be realized by a generalized to the power n minus 1 NOT gate.
Sir, is it because
And
in K code every consecutive ij can be traversed with one traversal, one bit change?
yes, yes, yeah. So what is happening here is, so there is only one change here, okay? And
Okay.
generalized encode is what? So this is fixed. So these are the controls, okay? Whenever there is a fixed thing, there is a control. These are all controls, and then some NOT gate is applied here. Now from here to here, if you want to go, so each step there is only one generalized node. So if you
Oh,
want
right.
to go the second step, yeah. So again, you can see that this is a control, 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 and here there will be a NOT gate here. Okay, and this is a control. This is a control. So that's why I said it is a generalized c to the power n minus 1 NOT gate. Okay, so
Okay.
for each of this can be implemented using c to the power n minus 1 NOT gate. Okay, so yes, so yeah, this is how it is done. And so we are done basically. So I mean we are done, but it is not very complete because we need to then prove that I read the entire paper, but at least philosophically, or let's say hand waving way, we have done. We have proved that okay, so single qubit gates and this what is called CNOT gate can give you a universal model of quantum computation. I mean using those gates you can generate any unitary matrix. But then the question is, okay, how many gates actually we need fundamentally? How many gates will be needed to compute this U? And they have shown using this procedure that there will be a huge number of elementary gates. Okay, so this will be of order n square. So this U can be implemented using of like n square 4 to the power n gates, and this 4 to the power n will come that number of Vij's will be 4 to the power n, and each Vij will be something like c to the power n minus or minus not gate, and that also require n square. This is n square. I said I'll talk about later n square, and so hence it is something like for n square times 4 to the power n, and you can hear this 4 to the power n actually will be 2 to the power n. Okay, so you can check like how many Vij's are required, okay, to implement U from here because of this dimension. And you can also think about how many parameters are here. Okay, that also you can think about, because this will be 2 to the power n by 2 to the power n matrix, and each element of the matrix contain two real numbers. So basically there are how many real parameters of U, that also you can think about. Okay, so eventually, okay, we are done. And then the conclusion is, so it is not a very efficient method, not a very efficient method. Although it is a method, but it's not efficient because if you increase n, number of gates will also increase. And this is actually a measure of complexity. Maybe I'll talk about it today if I get time. Okay, a little bit about a measure of complexity, of circuit complexity, let's say. Okay, if you want to design a circuit, so how many gates are required? So, and this is huge. Okay. Now the question is, so we don't want this basically, okay? So as I said last day also, we want to have polynomial number of elementary gates, okay? So n should not increase exponentially. I mean, number of gates should not increase exponentially, but it should increase with polynomial times, including, I mean, depending on n, okay? So we need polynomial number of elementary gates, something like that, okay? Okay, now the question is, does there exist any other way to decompose this? I mean, why this one? Does there exist any other one? Yeah, there is. There is. There are actually other methods of doing this, but they are, I would say, worse than this one. Okay, so I mean, if you read some matrix or linear algebra, matrix algebra kind of a thing books, then you will see there is something called CS decomposition of a unitary matrix. Okay, so using that also you can factorize a unitary matrix, but that is also not very efficient. Okay, so there is a lack of, okay, this thing like implementation of you using some efficient circuits, let's say. But on top of that, okay, but there is a hope. I'll tell you why. What is the hope? Okay, so you may see like this is the worst case situation. Why is this a worst case situation? Because I'll be dealing with specific use. I don't need to implement arbitrary U matrix. Okay, this U need not be arbitrary because I have a certain goal to achieve. In theory, it is, of course, it could be arbitrary, but when it comes to practical, let's say I want to implement some kind of a permutation gate. Okay, so permutation gate is very simple. I mean, simple to explain, let's say. So I have a 2 to the power n by 2 to the power n permutation matrix. Okay, then the question will be, what is the number of gates I need to implement a permutation gate? Okay, so those are the questions. So this unitary is not arbitrary. Okay, actually, when you apply it to the real world, so it is some structure. Structure meaning all entries are not independent to each other. Okay, so it is a generic kind of a situation. Okay, that all entries are independent of each other. But in general, when you apply to a practical situation, you have certain goal to maintain. So you have a very specific form of a unitary matrix. Not all entries are independent. Now the question will be, how do we exploit that structure in order to reduce this number of the use of the gates? So, and this is the current research going on, you can say, like what is the maximal set, okay, of unitary matrices, let's say, maximal set. So if I consider this is kind of a set of all unitary matrices of order 2 to the power n by 2 to the power n, I'm looking for a smaller subset, okay, which will be enough for me. They are enough structured, so I don't need all possible u, and they will be enough for all practical purposes. Let's say whatever algorithms we have till today, let's say for all the practical purposes, I can use that. Okay, so this is the current research work going on during for the circuit analysis of quantum circuit theory. Okay, but there is another catch here. The catch is, see, I said this thing theoretically this is very nice, but practically there will be problems. I said, okay, you, for example, when I said control u, I put some delta, okay, some delta here. Everywhere I put some delta, okay. So what is that? So control u, yeah. So here I put some delta here, but delta is a real number, so it is a continuous situation. So this is a difference between classical and the quantum. So you have a system of elementary gates, okay, a set of elementary gates, okay, which is a continuous domain. For any delta, I have to produce this kind of a gate, which is not possible. Say here alpha, but alpha could be anything. But if alpha could be anything, any real number need not be realized. Okay, it is possible for any u that you will find some alpha. But for what value of alpha? Your value is alpha, let's say it is pi. How do you know how to generate pi? Nobody knows it. Because in all the classical, as I said, when I talked about classical computation, that this computational world, the classical computational world is finite. Not only that, it is rational also. So we can only have finite ways of generating numbers. We do not have infinitely many ways of generating numbers. So even if we say this alpha could be anything, but practically it is not anything. So even if you say that this is in a continuous domain, it can be possible like this alpha, beta, gamma, alpha, beta, delta, but it is not possible. Then the question will be something else. The question will be, I don't need all such gates. What I need is, I have a finite collection of gates. Let's say Hadamard gate, CNOT gate, okay, and some specific gate, okay, and that will be enough to implement, let's say, some RZ or RX or RY, this kind of a gate. So that means I'm talking about an approximation. Okay, so it could be RZ, delta could be anything, but I want to approximate that RZ delta, okay, using, so RZ delta means RZ delta, it means let's say 100 to the power I delta, but I cannot generate this delta. So even if I say that any unitary operation can be, okay, generated using single qubits, the single qubit gates, including let's say RZ, but that is not helpful to me. I want some gates which are number of gates which is finite and that can be implemented physically. So then the question will be, whenever this kind of a gate appear, I want to realize this gate using some fundamental gates, let's say, which are simple to, let's say, realize. Okay, so incrementally that can be realized possibly. So there is a catch. So even if I say that uh, that I can implement any single, I can have any unitary operation or unitary matrix, and that can be implemented using some 1 qubit gates, but still there is a catch that how do I implement this gate? Because a delta could be anything. I cannot do this. So then the question will be, what is the minimal set of gates which is possible to do that? And then there is a very famous work, and so I want to basically approximate this operation using some other 1 qubit gates. For example, let's say Hadamard gate, and let's say RZ and some particular, let's say pi by 4, and it can be shown so that only using these 3 gates, okay, is possible to realize it, okay, with accuracy less epsilon. Accuracy means whatever the error will be, okay, that will be up to of order epsilon. But then the question will be, when you are approximating this, okay, how many steps will be required? So how many steps you require to achieve that accuracy? Let's say my accuracy is epsilon. Accuracy is epsilon. And then recently it was proved, recently means 10 years back, that it is of order, log to the power c 1 by epsilon. And Nielsen Chung, there is a book, okay, you can see that they said this will be approximately equal to 2. Okay, so this I will come back again, okay, a little later. Okay, I'll say when I'll give you the set of universal gates, quantum gates, and I'll talk about this little later. Okay, about this and who proved this. Okay, I'll talk about that. But this is, I'm just making a conclusion here that although life looks simple here, that any unitary matrix can be used, okay, implemented using this and that, but this is not the case. Okay, there are certain real challenges, okay, that cannot be avoided. Let's say. Now another thing, since any unitary matrix is not possible to implement, okay, suppose you do some approximation and then you implement, then there will be an error also in the output. Now, can we quantify that output? That's the question now. And if that there is an output and that is erroneous, then the probability after measurement, because ultimately, as we said, like in a quantum computation, in quantum algorithms, ultimately you have to measure some qubits. So then in that measurement also, the probability, there will be erroneous probability. So the question will be, can I make a bound of that error in the probability? So there are two things now. Can I give a bound for the error which is due to the wrong implementation or non-ideal implementation of a unitary operation? Second thing is, if I have some error, okay, does it help me to produce a bound for the measurement probabilities? Okay, and I will do this part here because one part I will do, which is simpler. I will not do the probability part. By the way, I must tell you that okay, I have almost completed. So not almost. I mean, yeah, I have almost completed this circuit part. Some few things are only left. Okay, because I also didn't say. See, I have been saying that CNOT gate using CNOT gate. CNOT gate is how CNOT gate. But how do you implement CNOT gate physically? The problem is when you are doing something physical, some experimental, there is a different dimensional challenge. Okay, the challenges are multidimensional because it depends on your platform. What kind of platform you are using? For example, in classical computation also you see that it depends on what kind of hardware technology you are using. So the hardware technology you are using 10 years back or 20 years back or 50 years back and today's hardware technology are completely different. For example, 10 years back, CD, okay, you can also store information in CD. Today, nobody uses CDs, okay, nobody uses CD. Instead of CD, people use pen drive. So there are different technologies, there are challenges. Same thing also for quantum. So whether you are using photons, okay, as your method of this, I'm for implementing all these quantum gates. Photon means I am talking about optics, or you are using something else. Let's say you are doing some calculation using something called electrons, okay, or maybe you are using your platform as there is something called superconducting qubits. Superconducting, what is the platform? And depending on the platform, how do you implement a CNOT gate? That is the main challenge. If CNOT gate can be implemented, then this can be done. Okay, I understand that. But the question is, how do I implement CNOT gate? Okay, in a different kind of platform, in different kinds of platforms. And I'll give you some kinds of gates which will help you to realize CNOT gates, okay? Because in different platforms, okay? And different platforms. So I'll discuss about that also, and then I'll finish discussing circuit complexity. But I must tell you, so what I was telling you that there is a guy called John Preskill, okay? I mean, you must have heard about him. His name is John Preskill. He's at Caltech. So he has a nice lecture note about quantum information and computation, and so you can visit his homepage, and I think the course is like CS219 or PH219. Okay, so there is a chapter 5. Chapter 5. Okay, so this chapter is not a very big chapter. I mean, whatever we discussed, and the problem is in that lecture note is everything is not discussed in detail. Okay, that's the problem. But anyway, if you read that chapter, and I think this is some complexity, circuit complex, something like that. That's the title of the chapter. Okay. So maybe on circuits or something like that. So this chapter is on circuits. Okay. Yeah. So you may go through that chapter. Okay. This lecture note is good actually. Okay, so good in a sense that it is like an eye opener. Okay, that the way he has explained, although everything is not in detail, but you'll see that some of the things he said is, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Okay. Okay, so I think I'll stop here, and maybe next day I'll talk about unitary errors. I mean, like, what is the error? How the error will propagate? Can I bound the errors due to non-ideal implementation of the unitary matrix? And consequently, actually, this work is due to Preskill. That how this, I mean, can I give a bound about the measurement probabilities? So that was a bound was shown by Preskill. So whatever I'm going to discuss next about these errors, this is already there in his lecture note. But anyway, I will discuss this. Okay. Yeah. So if you have any question, you can ask me now.
So can you once scroll to uh, the reduction of c square you get, c2 you get almost.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nothing.
Yeah. This
Okay,
is you. Yeah. This is you.
okay, so that's it.
Okay. Okay. I'm so I'm a little busy. So, but I'll try to give you an assignment maybe end of this week. So I was planning to give you the assignment by Friday, but it seems it will not be possible. But I'll try my best because I had to make a question paper. Okay, let me just stop the recording. So yeah, so let me stop the recording.